Alright, heading here. I don't visit mills that often in my videos, and it's certainly not because I don't want to, but because it's very difficult to find intact or semi-intact mills, especially modern mills such as this one. So I'm hopefully somewhat making amends for that lack of mills in my videos today with this one. We're in Sardinia today, and this mine, they did lead, zinc, fluorite, barite. I can't remember if there are any others, but those were the primaries. The mill closed down in 1980, and this mine was so big, you can probably hear some engine noises in the background. This mill was so big, there's a modern quarry that exists solely off of the waste rock from this mine, and that's what you're hearing below. Now, I believe this is a crusher here behind me, and ore will be dropped in and initially crushed here, and then taken down or dropped down to these ball mills here. You can see there's a ball mill there, and there's one directly beneath me here. I know the light is terrible. You can actually still see a bucket of the balls down there. There's a view of the bucket. And I believe that after the ore was crushed through the crusher behind me and then these two ball mills, that it would be run into these flotation cells down there. All through there. All those funny shaped wedge looking objects are all flotation cells. It looks like that's the control panel there. I was just filming over there a moment ago, and I came across another view down into the guts of the mill that I wanted to share with you. And actually, I believe these up here, where I'm standing, are flotation tanks as well. They certainly have that look, as you can see. And these look like agitators inside of them to me. Look inside one of them. You see what I'm talking about? See, it seems like this would rotate, so my guess would be that those are agitators. I started filming up there, and then was just looking around over there when I last left off. And so I've dropped down a level, and you can see this ball mill here in front of me, and then the larger one back there. And you can see these flotation tanks here, and these are the agitators in the tanks. Show you some of the equipment here. They do everything on a big scale here, that's for sure. Look through the mill. And I think this is the control panel here. You can see the schematic here in front of me. I'm sure this will make sense to some members of the audience. I mean, you can more so tell. I mean, those I believe are the two ball mills, and that's that screw in the middle that's behind us. So I have some idea. And then controls themselves are somewhat worn. You know what? It looks like there's actually a third ball mill over here. Yeah, it looks like a third ball mill right there. See some silos there. either for holding unprocessed ore or processed ore. Probably unprocessed since it's right at the top. Back of those first ball mills, ready to head down to the next level. You see some more equipment tossed in the back there. And I'm not going to head down there because that's a dead end, but looks like we'll be dropping down here. So I will rejoin you over there. Okay, next level down. Start out up there. And this level appears to be flotation cells or flotation tanks entirely. But of course we'll check. Look back at some of the other equipment we checked out. You see the edge of one of the ball mills right there. That's actually sheep shit in there, and I'm not sure how it got there, but there's sheep and pigeon shit all over the place inside of here. The pigeons I understand, but the sheep I'm not so sure about. There are a lot of sheep around, and this is Sardinia, which has a lot of sheep. But why or how it ended up inside the mill like this is a very good question. Okay, there's another view of those silos we saw earlier. There and there. Yeah, these are all tanks through here. And okay, you can see a good view of more of the mill here. Power box. And just row after row after row of those tanks or flotation cells. Looking out on some of the rest of the mill. You can see it is quite large. Got these conveyor belts here. See some more in the distance over there. And like I said, Sardinia, sheep, a bunch of them over there. But again, how everything ended up inside here, I'm not sure. I'm referring to the shit. How it ended up inside here, I don't know. I was just pointing out the sheep there, and as soon as I turned the camera off, I noticed that there's a huge tank underneath this. It's full of water. Hopefully you can see the water down there. And it looks like there's another one right there actually. And that's the top of another silo right there. So these are all cells right here, so I think I'll go down to the end and drop down to a level and pick up there. I'm just coming up to those power boxes now, and you can see that this mill would have used a fair amount of electricity, and we can get a hint of that under here as well by looking at all that wire in there. And again, also by looking at all the power boxes up here. This operation would have taken a lot of juice, apparently. Like I said, they mine fluorite here, among other things. These seem to be connected to the flotation cells, or at least those back there seem to be connected to the flotation cells processing the fluorite. Equipment from Milan. Control from one of the compressors. It's interesting seeing the labels on them still as to what they are actually doing, each individual power box. Galena. Barite. This is really interesting. I didn't realize that they would have broken them down like this. That barite. Huh. There's barite up there too. Very interesting. And here's looking back on where we've been going through. Just came through there, and I'll drop down to the next level now. I'm walking down to the next level, and I just noticed that one of the keys is actually still here. That's wild. Talk about just walking away. I'd love to have seen this back in 1980 or 1981 or something like that, right after it closed. I'm sure there would have been way more stuff here. Alright, I can go down those stairs right there. I was filming over there a moment ago, and I didn't want to cross these rotten boards here, and so I went down and around and up to get to where I am now, and I can just skirt around carefully the rotten boards here to go check out this room, which looks like a locker room or a changing room maybe for the miners. Let's see one of the miners' boots there. More miners' boots and equipment. Yeah, that would make me think this was the changing room. Or at least one of the changing rooms. Got some more tanks here and there, and there's a look down on the modern quarry operation. Like I said, that's using the aggregates just from the waste rock of this mine. There's another room here. This looks like a shower. See more boots down there. And that looks like a shower nozzle, or the reins of one there. And the all-essential toilet. Alright, I dropped down another level. I was exploring those rooms back there a moment ago. And I'm just above a very large tank here. You see the water reflecting off of it down there. And it looks like there's another one there. And some more machinery down there we'll go check out. And directly above another large tank here, you can see the reflection down there. I'm actually not sure what this is in front of me here. It looks almost like a trommel with the screen on the side like that, but I'm not sure. Just putting that out there. And then here's another view of the other section of the mill over there. And then I see that we've got 4 silos right here. And I would suspect that that is where the finished processed material ends up after it's been worked through the mill. And you see those chutes at the bottom where trucks or whatever could retrieve the material. View of the front of this piece of machinery here. Looking back up at the mill. Let's go look down one of these silos real quickly. There's looking down the silo there. Hopefully you guys can see that alright. And then looking over here, some of the silos there. More of the mill. And everywhere that we've come down from. There's a view of the mill I just finished exploring. And you can see some more mill buildings and equipment down in front of me that I pointed out before. The track and such and the adits are up there. You can see some of the waste rock piles there. And behind me here, some more structures. I'm at those upper buildings, which were for handling electricity here at the mine. And look at the size of these cables in front of me. That's my hand on one of the cables. So you can see how large they are. They're enormous. There's that power building behind us here. And the doors are actually rusted shut. I tried getting in, but I didn't want to break anything. And probably nothing too exciting there anyway. Again, the mill building's in front of us. And in front of me, there's a tank, holding tank, a bunch of water in it. And disturbingly, there's also a dead cat floating in the water there. They started running a rock crusher back at the quarry, which made it too loud to film the rest of the mill at this time, so I decided to head up to the waste rock piles. Come across an interesting trestle built for ore carts on the way up to the upper levels of the mine. I had to go up there, but it's completely overgrown and difficult to access, not to mention the tracks have been removed. There's nothing to really walk on up there. So this is actually probably a better view of it, but I thought it was pretty cool. I'm following the rails up this creek here toward the adits, and just wanted to show you how large this rail was, because these guys were not screwing around. That's my hand on the rail. So this isn't quite full-size railroad rail, but it's not far off. See, they had some sort of junction here because there's some other track running here, and then they have lights all along here as well. So obviously this operation is designed to run during the night as well as day, and they would have had a nice light to work by. There's a little dam, can't really tell, there's a little dam there that's carried this pond here. Obviously the miners built the dam, but I'm not sure what the water was used for. In the meantime, I'll just keep following this rail. I followed the rail up through there, and rail usually leads to good things. This case was no exception, because we have come across a trammer or electric locomotive, depending on the terminology you prefer to use. It's been there a while. Those ore cart wheels are sunk pretty deep, but still lots of good stuff here to see. Pretty heavy duty chain. I believe the batteries were in here, in these compartments here. Somebody will probably correct me on that, but I believe that's where the batteries sat, there and there. You can see the drive switch down there. Don't know if anybody will recognize that brand name or not. There's a look inside. Obviously the operator would sit there. Get around to get a better view. Here's a view of the other side of that trammer or electric locomotive. Obviously the operator would sit there. And you can see we've got some of the controls here. It's rusted shut. Very interesting. And then directly behind me, where this trammer obviously worked, is an Adit. And obviously a decent sized one to need a trammer of that size. Unfortunately, it is flooded. And not just a little bit flooded, but up to one's neck flooded. Because the level surface of the ground is way back there. And one goes up an incline all the way here because of the rubble until you get to here, and you can see the water is to the very top there. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this one today.